Well, hello. Come on into the new After Prison Show kitchen and have a look around. What's going on, everybody? Shout out to that intro right there. We got Joel filming this, so it's gonna feel a little bit like a soap opera right here is my hope. Wanted to make a nice little intro to this for a number of reasons. This is the first time that we're doing a cooking video in our new kitchen, and it's the first time that we've done a cooking video in a long time. Today we're gonna be doing something totally different. With all of the prison cooking that we've done here in the past, cooking meals that I know about and the many different guests that we've had on After Prison Show bringing to the table the meals that they know about. Today, we're gonna step outside of the box a little bit and we're gonna experiment with some meals coming to us from this book right here. And this is gonna be the first time that we're taking meals from this Prison Ramen cookbook and trying to see what these meals are hitting on. We're gonna prepare a couple of these meals. Some of these may be similar to meals that we've made here in the past, and some of them may be completely different. I can tell you from going through this book initially and grabbing a couple of the recipes, some of these, we haven't done anything like this here before. I think one reason for that is because, when you think about serving time, meals are gonna be different and what prisoners are putting together is gonna be different from state to state. After Prison Show is here on the East Coast. I believe the meals featured in Prison Ramen are coming to us from the West Coast. So without further ado, and without making this intro any longer than it needs to be, that's what we're getting ready to do. And I'm gonna share with you guys real quick some of the ingredients that we've got. We've got our ramen noodle soups right here, the chicken and the beef, the refried beans. In the past, we've used the freeze-dried refried beans. We don't have those anymore, the Servillas. So we've got these right here in the can. Also in the can, we've got the chili beans. I didn't realize until going to the grocery store this morning that there's so many different types of chili beans. Pinto chili beans, kidney chili beans, lima chili beans, black chili beans. We've got the kidney spicy chili beans right here. The cheese spread, we can't make any prison meal, not very many that is, without cheese. Something that we've never used before, peanut butter and jelly. Also in this baggie right here, we've got the beef summer sausage. It's opened, as you can see. I was hungry. We got the hot and spicy pork skins. You can see the sticker right here. It says, buy one, get one free. And because Joe is such the money manager that you know me to be, my dumb ass forgot to grab the free bag. That made me mad first thing this morning getting ready for this video. And then finally, we've got the chili cheese corn chips right here. So that's what we've got. A little bit of Tupperware. We got us a towel and we got the book. So like I said, prior to even beginning this, I went through and checked out some of the recipes that they have in this book. The first recipe is something that we've talked about here before on After Prison Show, the butt naked ramen soup. And what the butt naked ramen soup is just your ramen noodle soup, your seasoning pouch, and water. You can serve this with a good handful of chips on the side, but sometimes it's just best enjoying the butt naked by itself, the soup that is. Folks, that's wrong. If you eat the butt naked soup with chips, you know who's eating the butt naked soup? The guy who's the hungry man, the man who don't got nothing but the butt naked soup. If you got the chips, that's a +1. That's a butt naked +1. Moving on. See how quick that was? Breezed right through that first one. This video will not be, it probably will be, super long. The next recipe in this book is called the Dear John. I love the name of this. This is definitely something that you never want to experience while locked up. The Dear John is when your girl has found Jody number 10. Say something again. I'm not going to sing because people leave dislikes on these videos. I've learned just from me singing. But when your girl leaves you or your man leaves you while you're serving time, oftentimes you can receive what is known as the Dear John letter. Dear John, I'm moving on. I found Juan. Bars right there. The next meal in this book is the hot chili corn chip pie. Folks, we're about to make that right now. This meal consists of 1 beef flavored ramen noodle soup, cup of boiling water, a pouch 9 ounces of the chili beans in the hot sauce, some summer sausage, and a handful of the corn chips. All right, step 1, crush up the ramen noodle. Is what we're not gonna do. Folks, these floors are over 200 years old. Hard. I had Abraham Lincoln walking on my floors. Hard. So we'll resort to the granite countertops. You know, I think about that sometimes. This house is over 200 years old. I wonder if Abraham Lincoln ever did walk on my floors. Ah, we messed up already. Got to take that seasoning pouch up out of there. Get us some water going. 2 minutes, that water will be lava. All right, what else do we got to do? We crushed up the noodle. We put that in the bowl. We got the water heating up. We've removed the seasoning pouch. Meanwhile, combine the beans and the sausage in a microwavable bowl, then add the seasoning, stir, cover, and microwave for 2 to 3 minutes. Boy, you be nuking this stuff. All right. Now in prison, you already know this is coming in a pouch. Because if they gave you a can with a can opener and this jagged lid that's about to come off this money, you could kill a man. So we don't need all of these chili beans, that's for damn sure, because we only got 1 soup right here. So I'm just going to put just a little bit of them chili beans right there. Water's damn near boiling, coming out of the microwave before we go any further. Now, real quick, this is important. A cup of boiling water. Here's a cup. I wonder if these are the same measurements. That's pretty close. That's pretty close to a cup of water right there. I think we got a flea floating in there. Too much water already. Too much water already. Whatever they're doing on the West Coast, they don't be cooking for real. No disrespect to anybody who served time on the West Coast. A lot of water right there. All right, well, while we let that hopefully absorb most of that water, we'll go ahead and chop up the summer sausage. A couple of thoughts that come to mind just getting into these recipes. First being, you know, it seems like these meals are just solo shots, just a meal for one person. And maybe most of these meals in this book are. I don't know if they're really talking about making whole spreads in here, but I guess we'll see what we run across. We've got our chili beans with our summer sausage right here. Probably could have added a little more chili beans to that, but that seems to be doing the trick. And it says to add the seasoning pouch. Now, I don't know about adding this whole seasoning pouch right here. We're going to add a lot of it, but I'm definitely not adding the whole thing. I think that's going to be a little bit of overkill, just like I feel like that cup of water could have potentially been a little bit of overkill too. And this is not to discredit. Look, I want to make this clear. I'm not trying to bash any of these meals. These are meals that they're eating on the West Coast. Smells good. So we're getting a chance to see how they do it over there. All right, let's go ahead and nuke this. Because we got that nuclear microwave, we're only going for 1 minute. She's smoking. Good deal. Now, I'm going to be honest. If I open it, I don't want to ruin this meal. I want to try this the way that they do this. That is just far too much water. So I'm going to dump out the excess water. And as you can see, that's a lot of excess water. Could be wrong about all of this. If I am, you let me know. If I'm wrong and they really leave that water up in there and you know that, let me know in the comments. All right, chili's in there. Hey, yo, you got some corn chips I can get? My God, the chili cheese corn chips on commissary, those are a hit. They said a handful, so there's a decent little handful right there. And folks, voila, we have made the hot chili corn chip pie. Bon appetit. Shout out to the West Coast. Sort of basic, but definitely good flavor. And this really didn't entail a whole lot of food. So one thing that I'm starting to realize is maybe on the West Coast, rationing and straight survival meals are really what's the big ticket items out there. But then again, I'm starving and I could punish this right now. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next meal that we're gonna make out of this book. And this one's really interesting. This is just the PB&J ramen. And all this consists of is one ramen noodle soup, peanut butter, and jelly. And it says, open the wrapper carefully to avoid breaking the ramen. Save the seasoning packet for another use. Place the square of dry ramen on a plate. Spread the peanut butter and jelly on the ramen as you would a piece of bread. Couple of things to mention with this real quick. Never done anything like this before. In Virginia, on the East Coast, we would crush these up, add the seasoning pouch to these, eat these dry with the seasoning pack on them, like some chicken flavored potato chips, basically. But to put the peanut butter and jelly on this, it sounds weird to me. We're gonna try it. And when I think about doing something like this, like making a sandwich out of the ramen, I've definitely heard of that being done before, but I would imagine cooking the ramen first. We're gonna do it the way they say in the book. So let's go ahead and bust open that ramen. When you make a peanut butter and jelly, what comes first? It's sort of like that little saying, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Is it the peanut butter that goes first or the jelly? We're gonna go with the PB. Never had this before. This is what I would refer to as a choke sandwich. You better have a cup of water. You gotta make sure you get all the peanut butter off of your state-issued spork, because you won't be wasting nothing while you're locked up. Look at that. How much jelly do you put on a peanut butter and jelly? Folks, is it the peanut butter that comes first or the jelly? How much jelly do you put on a peanut butter and jelly? Let me know your opinion down in the comments section as we get ready to feast on the peanut butter and jelly ramen. I can feel the ramen actually cutting my gums, the roof of my mouth. But in terms of what this is actually tasting like, it actually tastes like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Not bad. It's like those memes you see on Facebook. How to eat Brussels sprouts, boom, right in the trash. I'm probably gonna catch a little flack for throwing that away right there, but I just don't have the room to keep it all up here, and I'm not gonna eat it later. I've got a bunch of meals that we're making in this video. The peanut butter and jelly ramen wasn't actually that bad, and it wasn't as much of a choke sandwich as I thought that it was gonna be. So that was actually a pretty good one right there that you should definitely try out there. If you're in a pinch and you're in a jam, you need to hurry up and make you something to eat, you've got peanut butter, you've got jelly, but you've got no bread. Use a ramen noodle soup, which can damn near be used for anything these days, including fixing countertops. We're gonna go ahead and move on to what is referred to in this book as the state issue soup. State issue is gonna be your Blues, your towel, your washcloth, your Lisa soap, your Lye soap is basically what it is. Stuff that can eat the skin off of your body. Those are going to be the state issue things, your shower shoes, your roll of toilet paper. What in the world is a state issue soup? The ingredients call for 1 pack of chili flavored ramen. Damn it! We don't have that, so we're going to use beef instead. A cup of boiling water, a slice of bologna chopped up, 2 slices of white bread chopped up into quarters, and a half of a cup of corn chips. Let's go ahead and jump right into this. I'm just gonna go ahead and hit that joint like an Odell. Ugh. Got the bologna. This is Joe's Foot Locker. Got the bread, make sure there ain't no mold on it. Crush the ramen in the wrapper, empty into a bowl, add the seasoning. They ain't wasting no time with this one, folks. It's like doing the Heimlich maneuver. If you ever wondered how, Joe, do you crush up these soups, do the Heimlich. One, oh, but don't bust it open. Instructions weren't clear. Stuck my big toe in the toaster oven. 1 single solitary slice of bologna chopped up into pieces. We'll go ahead and get that water going. And we're gonna be extra careful not to add too much water to this. So I'm looking at this state-issued soup as definitely some sort of a survival meal, but it doesn't take much to dress up a ramen noodle. So the bread's gonna act as the base. Your crackers, any sort of a chip that you could add to help thicken your soup up, or a cracker, or refried beans. And we've actually done, whoa! Whew, that scared me. All right, well, since the lid done popped off that money, let's go ahead and see what we got going on here. I'm gonna let this cook for just a couple of minutes more, because one thing that I'm seeing that they mention in the ingredients here is they said let it sit for 8 minutes. So maybe they are using more water. Whereas the more water you add, the more those noodles are gonna swell up. You might be left with some extra residual water, which that bread is gonna absorb. But being that this is titled a state-issued soup, this is a survival meal, and this is something that's probably sole purpose, fill you up and hold you over until that next meal. Go ahead and add that bread, add that bologna. Leave no bologna behind. And let's go ahead and stir that up. The corn chips, they actually mentioned half of a cup. So we'll just do a handful. That's probably half a cup. We got the butt naked +1, +2, +3. We got the bread, we got the bologna, and we got the corn chips. What is this hitting on? You guys let me know down in the comments section, does it even look good? If you're hungry, very basic. Even with the chili corn chips, that's pretty much the extent of the flavor right there. They did mention using a chili flavored seasoning pouch, and maybe that was because of the fact that maybe they didn't have chili Fritos, which we do. Not much to this meal right here. I gotta let you guys know this is the third meal that I'm eating back to back, even though I'm only taking a couple of bites of this. I don't usually eat this type of food no more, and it's not because, well, for no other reason other than I haven't eaten a ramen noodle soup in a long time, but I gotta let you know, man, my head is sweating right now. The sodium, there's a lot of that I'm feeling. Overall thoughts on the state-issued soup, it kind of makes me a little bit depressed just thinking about eating something like this while locked up. Like, this is the type of joint that's gonna make you just wanna fight somebody because you ain't got no money, or go steal something from somebody, because this ain't that good. We're gonna do one more recipe out of this book for right now. And again, if this is a video that you guys enjoy, please leave a like and a comment on this, and we'll do a part 2 to this. This book is still yay thick, and there's a ton of recipes in this book that we could be doing. But this final recipe that we're gonna wrap this up on is the prison tamale. And this one is actually, I guess, the most extensive of any of the recipes that we've done today. This one calls for 2 packs of ramen, a bag of the pork skins. We've got those right here. We need a half a cup of refried beans. We got those right there. Cup and a half of boiling water. That's a hell of a lot of water. And 2 bags of corn chips. They're talking about the small bag, so that's gonna be a decent amount of corn chips to add to this. And also the squeezed cheese. So again, extensive stuff that we need for this. We know what we gotta start with, and that's gonna be, all right, we've made a ramen noodle tamale here before, and I think that was one of those times when I tried to step out of the box with the cooking videos. I'm pretty sure that that was the introduction of Touch 'em 2 times Tommy. Crush the ramen up in the wrappers, open the wrappers, set aside the seasoning packs, and save for another use. So we're not using any seasoning packs in this. Why are they telling us we need beef flavored ramen noodle? We could be using anything. I'm gonna do my best to not destroy these ramen bags because we may need these. When you make a tamale here in Virginia, you can make it right here in this bag. Crush this up, add the hot water, wrap it up, add some corn chips, call it a day. I gotta be honest with you, crushing up noodles, it brings me back. And just think, as you're watching this video right now, there's somebody who's locked up right this second doing this same exact thing. Well, they're probably smacking them on the ground, but. All right, I've crushed up the 2 packs of ramen. Now it says to crush up the pork skins in the closed bag. We're gonna open the bag because it makes it easier. It's definitely a lot easier to crush these up in the open bag. Okay, so I've saved some corn chips in this bag. It said that we needed 2 bags or 2 ounces of corn chips. Maybe that's what we got right there. We're gonna add the pork skins to this. It doesn't mention anything about crushing up these corn chips, so we just gotta crush these up. If we're gonna be making a tamale, this stuff has to all be crushed up. Pork skins. We've added a bunch of pork skins. Yo, this is a big tamale. This has got to be a multi-person meal right here. 2 packs of ramen, and it says add 1 of the beef seasonings. That's all we got. We're gonna add this whole seasoning because we got 2 ramen noodles up in there. All right, we're gonna mix this up a little bit. Showcase what we got going on right there in the bag. Now it says add half a cup of the refried beans. We got to pop those open. Bing. I'm going to do this in 2 different steps. So because I don't want to mess those up by just adding a bunch of water to them, I'm going to add the water right now and let that absorb a little bit. And then I'm gonna add the refried beans in there with it, mix that up. All right. All right, so we've added our water. I want to let this set up for just a couple of seconds. Then we're going to add the refried beans. It says to let this sit for 30 minutes. Let's go ahead and add those refried beans now. Whew. I'll tell you one thing. This is going to be the type of meal that's going to fill you up. And if you're eating this by yourself, you selfish. I got to be honest, it's looking like a gooey mess up in here. We're going to wrap her up, let her sit, and see what she comes out tasting like and looking like as well. 30 minutes. We could take us a little breather. It's been about 15 minutes. It hasn't been the full 30, but we're going to go ahead and see what our tamale has come out like. And she's still a little soft. We probably should have waited the full 30 piece, but I don't think that that was going to do much in relation to how much water I added to this. Oh, Joe, you might have messed her up. Did it really needed the full 30, or was it the too much water was the issue? And I think that it was the water. It's definitely a little soggy. I think this would have came out a lot better with less water. 3 tablespoons of squeezable cheese or more to taste. Well, we're just going to add a decent little amount on the top there. That's a lot of cheese. Now we know it's going to be a little bit of a mess, but let's see what she's hitting on. Actually, that stayed together relatively okay. I feel like I just got a big old clump of beans right there. I hope I mixed this up well. So, a lot of flavor. Definitely a filling meal, to say the least. You can see just, you know, this thing is just straight mass. It's just a huge meal. In terms of flavor, this is probably the most flavorful meal that we've made. I actually can't stop eating this, so it must be really good. But yeah, I think this is the best meal that we've made right here. The ramen tamale. Quite different from the way that we would make it here. I wouldn't put the pork skins in this, but there's dudes on the East Coast who will put pork skins in their meals. It's really just a matter of preference and what you like. Probably could have benefited from some type of a meat on this, but not in all situations are you gonna have the ability to be able to do that. Most of these meals that we've experimented with out of this Prison Ramen book seem to me to be survival meals for guys who don't got a lot. You know, this is a meal that could feed easily 2 people, maybe even 3 people. You might be able to break this thing down into thirds. And it seems like these are just meals that are gonna get you by and hold you over and fill you up until the next time that you're going to the chow hall or until the next time that a tray is getting slid into your cell. I'm gonna wrap it up on that note. I wanna know what you guys thought of this video, and I truly hope that this was a video that you enjoyed. I feel like I've gained at least 5 pounds just eating all of this. Let me know what you think was the most interesting meal, what you think was the best meal that we prepared out of those 4 meals that we did. And if you enjoyed this, I'll look forward to doing a part 2 to this video where we experiment with more prison meals from Prison Ramen. Have a great day. Thanks for taking the time to check out this video. And until next time, enjoy life, the free world. Never take a moment for granted and make the most of every day. Say something again, 'cause I can't stop thinking about my girl. She's out there with Jody number 10. I like that song.